Well, hello friends. Today we are going to make a widget, and specifically I want to make I guess a slider is what you would call it, and I want to have something where I can adjust the transparency of my terminal, because this thing is looking all solid, but you wouldn't know it, but the Windows server can actually have half translucent windows. So let's make a slider for that so that we can change the opacity of the terminal. And we're going to start in libgui and make, let's call it a G slider. And then we have to update our creator files. Okay. And then a G slider. And it's going to inherit from G widget. Okay. Public G widget. And I imagine that, okay, let's just start out like no big deal. Explicit constructor, virtual destructor. And then we will have a value. And I guess a min and a max. And we can also have void set range, and min and max. And void set value. I mean, that's implied, so just int. Okay. And for protected, we are going to want, definitely a paint event. And we will also want mouse down event. Mouse up event and mouse move event. Okay. I think that's enough to start out. And then we'll add these guys. Value will start at 0 and start 0. Say 100. Okay. And to make this easy for ourselves to test, let's go in the terminal. In the terminal app. And let's create a separate window with this widget in it. We'll say opacity window. Or let's just call it slider window. And we'll call it something slippy slider. Okay. Select. Oh wait, I don't need those. Let's put it at 50, 50, 200, 100. Fine, whatever. And then we'll make a slider. And we will set that to be the main widget of that window. And we will say slider set should, oh, hold on, let me include it. Slider. Set, what's it called? Fill with background color? True. Slider. Set background color. I mean, whatever, light gray. I don't know. That's fine. And we'll say slider window show. Okay. Now let's build ourselves a little command here. Let's see, applications terminal clean, and makes the applications terminal and sudo sync and run. Well, that didn't work out because I didn't actually implement any slider functions yet, of course. So let's write some of them, I guess. Starting with the constructor, which really doesn't have to do anything other than pass on the parent pointer to the GWidget constructor. And the destructor has even less to do. He just does nothing, and that's cool. And then we had those set range and set value. So we'll say min is min, is max. If min is min and max is max, then do nothing. Otherwise, set them and update to make sure that we repaint. And I guess we can also say that if m value is greater than min, then m value, if it's greater than max, sorry, then m value max. If m value is less than min, m value min, and then we'll assert that min is less than or equal to max. Okay, and then we'll do set value. Then we'll assert that value is greater than or equal to min, and value is, yeah. And there, like that. So this is just to ensure that we only repaint the widget if the value actually changes. Okay. Then let us do a paint event, and I think we're going to stub out all the other ones for now, but this one we're going to implement just so that we see something. And the way that we are going to paint this is as, let's see, first we're going to need a gpainter, and then we're also going to need a shared graphics style painter. So shared graphics is a library that's used both by libgui and the Windows server, because the Windows server wants to draw a bunch of things, but it cannot use libgui because libgui is sort of dependent on having a Windows server to talk to, so we can't use it inside the Windows server. That's why we have shared graphics. And in shared graphics, there's Style Painter, which knows how to paint frames, buttons, stuff like that. So that's what I thought we would just start out with here, very easily. Style Painter, paint frame, and we will just paint the rect as a frame. And of course, in paint event, I like to clip the painter to the current event rect, just to make sure that we're not drawing anything we don't need to draw. And let's see. Oh, painter, rect, frame shape, panel, I guess, frame shadow, sunken, and thickness, say 1. Yeah, I think that'll do it. And then we're just gonna need these. I'm not going to do anything for these just yet. So let's see, mouse move and mouse up. Okay. Oh, because I didn't add it to the makefile. Okay, libgui makefile. Nice and big and growing. Cha-ching. So let's see what this looks like. All right, here's my slider. It is I mean, you can't really see it in the video, I guess, but I see that it's rendering a frame here. So let's see how we go about this. So actually, no, this is fine. So the slider, I imagine it would look like there would be like a thin line, and then sort of a button on top that that travels along that line that you can drag or slide. So that's what I had in mind here with the frame, that we're gonna make this frame rect, or I guess we can call it a track. So let's call it a track rect, and it's gonna start at x coordinate, but we're gonna ignore the y coordinate for now. We'll say width, and the height will be track height. Which we'll put here. Oh, oops. Track height. In case I want to experiment with this at some later time, so make it easier to change. Okay. Yeah, track rect. And then we are going to do my favorite trick, which is center vertically within widget rect. Okay. And then we are going to need a button, which I guess we can call the knob rect. Does that work? I guess that works. And this one is going to have to be value dependent. So I guess, let's see, so the range size is m max minus m min. Float, and then value is m value minus m min. And then we'll say value. Oh, I don't know what to call that value. Okay, well, we'll just call it adjusted value. Okay, and then we'll say why is it so difficult to come up with names for these things? Relative value is just value divided by range size. Okay. Now the knob rect is going to be at x plus relative value minus knob width, I guess. Okay, so let's add that as well. Knob width, let's say 6 for that, and I think I need a knob height as well. For that, we'll do something bigger. How about 16? Okay. We'll do 0 again. And then the width of it will be the knob width, knob height. Oh, and right, and here I meant to do divided by knob width. Knob width divided by 2. And one of these guys is a float. So this needs to be times width. Okay. Then we'll say style painter, paint button. button stuff out. I guess normal. Let's say it's not pressed, not hovered, none of those other things. Okay. How does this look? Oh, forgot something crucial. It needs to be now rect, center vertically within, rect. Okay. And let's say, let's make an inner rect actually. We'll shrink it, say by knob width. Or let's just do some arbitrary number for now. So let's say 20. And height we can ignore. Okay. Oh, well, we can't completely ignore it, but like that. And then we'll use this instead. And okay, so then we'll use this everywhere. Width. Here, here, and here. Okay, so how does that look? Okay, I think we're onto something here. But let's make it a bit bigger and a bit taller. Just to make it a bit nicer to grab at it. There we go. See, it's looking like a real slider. I just want to start sliding it. Okay. So now we're going to want to detect if you start dragging the thing. So the first thing I'm going to do for that is factor out the knob rect into a function. And we'll do this. We can just call this function here. Okay, so G slider knob rect. Oh yeah, we need interact to be a function too though. So let's have that interact. Okay. There. Interact. Okay. Cool. Now, here in mouse down, event button is Gmouse button left. Then, if non-rect contains event position, then we are dragging. True. I guess otherwise we are definitely not dragging, but we don't need to. We don't need to mention that here. Okay, so dragging false. Turn widget mass time event. I think we can swallow the event at that point here. Okay, and then we'll do the same for mouse up. That will stop dragging. And of course, we'll call mouse up event here, not mouse down. And we'll also spell it correctly. There we go. Okay, now in mouse move event, we are going to check if we are dragging. Then we are going to want to adjust the position of the knob. So how do we do that? Well, what am I thinking about? Blah, 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 blah. We're gonna need to know where we started actually. So, let's say point M drag origin. Okay. Drag origin is event position. Okay. Delta is M position minus M drag origin. Okay. And this is the range size. Let's see now, how do we do this? The range size and the scale is range size. Divided by the width, the inner rect dot width. I think that is cool. Or wait, if the range is 100, then the width is 300. Then the scale would no, I'm thinking this backwards. Okay, and then auto new value. Let's see. I guess we really only care about the x actually. So delta x is in position x. And should we even do it this way? Drag origin value. Does that make sense? And then we say M value, drag origin value plus delta x times scale. Let's call setup. Yeah, that didn't work at all. Okay, let's just work this out. What the heck I'm doing here? CD delta x. Alright, wait, what the heck am I even trying to do? Drag origin value plus delta x. Heck, fuck, how did I have to get that? Blah, blah, blah. How did I do this for the scroll bars, I'm wondering? Mouse move event. delta is this value steps per scrub pixel. It's range size divided by scrub start value is value steps per scrub pixel times delta. See, why didn't I just go straight to scroll bar before? That's what I should have been doing. Delta and drag origin value. Scrubbable range in pixels. I guess that's the inner right width. Let's just see if this won't work. Just copy paste it like that. Not the most honorable programming style, but that does work. Of course, now we're reaching up to the max here. So let's see, what did we end up with doing is that, oh, hold on, let's do a printf, just to see what we're doing. And yeah, so we get the x delta, and then the scrubbable range is the inner rect width, and then the value steps per pixel is the range size divided by the scrubbable range, and then the value is the origin value plus the scale times the delta. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Oh, and what did we write out down here? 101. See, that's not good. Does scroller actually deal with that case? Set value. If it's greater than max, we just clamp it. Well, I guess that's fine. So let's say that if value, oh, hold on, let's see, if value is greater than the max, value is the max, it's less than okay. Beautiful. Oh, I see. So because we can drag really far past the end, right? That's why we're getting the huge value number or values. But so let's see here. Tap. Oh, and when we get the how the heck? When we drag it in here, then it doesn't stop because it doesn't react to the mouse up. Why is that? Mouse up event. Oh, see, this is stupid. If we mouse up, then we are definitely not dragging, no matter what. Okay. Alright, that's good. That is good. Okay. And now we're also going to add to this class a function. It's called onValueChanged. And it will do exactly what you think. That in set value, we will do onValueChanged. Call it. Okay. Then we'll go on the terminal and gotta hook this up to something here. So first thing is that for the slider, set range. So 0, 100, that's okay. Slider set value. And the value is going to be what's the value gonna be? Oh, I guess starting with 100. That's fine. Maybe we'll start with 80. And I'll also do a slider on what I changed. And now what we want to do is the terminal. Let's say float opacity with the value divided by 100. And terminal.set opacity. Okay. Now we gotta hook this up. So first thing is we need a set opacity function. Okay, void terminal set opacity. And we need to is there some way to do force repaint? Right, force repaint. Okay. We gotta make sure that the window has an alpha channel. So this is at full opacity, and this is all the partial ones. So not exactly what I was hoping for, but let's look into it. So say value divided by 100. Is that going to become an int then? I guess we could do it that way. I never ever remember how the heck this stuff works when, like, yeah, that's more like it. Like what expression becomes what type. Like, it's so confusing to me. Look at that. We have a slider and it's changing the opacity. How very, very cool. It's actually really nice. Of course, it's a bit sluggish. That's because alpha blending is all done in C++. There's no acceleration or SIMD or anything going on. So it's all CPU. But it works. How very cool. I like it. Okay, I think let's commit some of this stuff. So we'll start with adding the G slider. And I'll go ahead and make that as well. Okay, I'll say GUI. Energy slider widget. Yeah, that's exactly what that commit does. And then, like, I want all of this stuff, but I don't want it to. It shouldn't be up by default, right? So close that. It's okay. So maybe what we should do is we should rename the window to just opacity. Just opacity, that's okay. And then, or even terminal opacity actually. And we will put this in a menu, say. So we can move this a bit further up. Set value. Let's leave it like this. But we'll start writing it out. So we'll add an action to the terminal menu. Adjust opacity. Should we have a hotkey for it? Well, who doesn't love hotkeys? Say Alt. Control. Alt. Adding hotkeys to the terminal makes me feel a bit iffy. You know what? I'm just not going to do that because I want my hotkeys to go to the process inside the terminal. So I've made an exception here for Alt F4. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. So let's instead make this do, what do we make it do? Slider, window, show, and we can create everything up here. Let's rename this opacity adjustment. Just opacity. Okay, and we'll just pass it in here. Let's try this out, see how it feels. Got my terminal, no big deal. Just opacity, this thing pops up and we can adjust opacity. Very, very cool. All right. Okay, that's more like it. Of course, not the most beautiful user interface, but it works. And that's what I'm looking for right now. So let's say terminal. Add ability to adjust the terminal opacity. Yeah. Cool. Push that. And let's have one more look at it because it's so neat. Look at that shit. How cool. But dang, I just pushed without doing a code review. What's wrong with me? So let's look at it anyway, in retrospect, I guess. Okay, so the GSlider class, we just take a GWidget, nothing out of the ordinary here. Set range, just asserts that the min and max are same. And then we clamp any existing value, we clamp to the new range. And then here in set value, we clamp the incoming value to the range and ignore no ops. And then repaint ourselves, and if the value changes, we do the callback with the new value. Here in the paint event, we draw a frame for the track, which is the thin stripe, and then we draw a button for the knob. And then the knob rect is computed here, which was all pretty straightforward. And then the slider mouse down, we just check if we are mouse downing on the knob. If so, we start dragging with the origin saved. And then if we get a mouse move while we are in the dragging state, then we do the copy-pasted thing from the scroll bar where we just adjust the value based on the delta, of the X position. And then in the mouse up event, we just turn off the dragging. Okay. I mean, we turn off the dragging if it was the right mouse button. Yeah. I mean, the left mouse button. Then here is the header for GSlider. Nothing out of the ordinary. which is a very straightforward class. Yeah, that's cool. And then let's look at the terminal change. So if we call set opacity with the current opacity, we just ignore it, otherwise we force a repaint. Yep. And then down here, we make sure the window has an alpha channel, otherwise it wouldn't matter that we're changing the opacity, because then the Windows server would just be like, wow, I don't need to care about the alpha value. And it would just render it as a solid color. Okay, so then we make the opacity adjustment window. I guess it's not super necessary to create this up front, but it's also, these things are not expensive, so it doesn't matter that much. So we create the slider, fill with background, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all good. And then of course here, when the value changes, we just divide the value by 100 and then call set opacity on the terminal, which we saw above, and we added the action to the menu here, and this just makes that window show up. So I think that's cool. I'm actually a little bit curious what happens if I do that twice. Nothing terrible happens. Okay, very cool. All right, so I think that's going to do it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, and also thank you to all the new Patreons and everything. Very happy to have you, and thank you for coming, for subscribing, for checking out this stuff, and for sticking with it, and I will see you next time.